Hello traders, welcome to another episode of Greenback Riders Trading Academy, and we will be talking about the last quad witching day of the month, which will be 321. And tomorrow we have the expiry for the weekly options, the monthly options, the quarterly options, as well as the daily options, right? So it is going to be a very important day tomorrow. Now, as we expected that the price is going to stay in a trading range, we stayed in a trading range. Our levels worked out directly along with the gamma levels that we predicted yesterday, and we had awesome results trading today, right? So let us get into the chart and see what happened today since morning. So this was the 9:30 candle that happened. As you see, we bounced right from this area, which is the FOMC low. I had the FOMC low marked here on the chart, and as we started breaking out of this, we actually went long after this bar number 2, which was a 935 bar, and our first exit was somewhere in this area because of this flag area, and then we were holding on to some contracts. As soon as we saw this particular candle, we were out of the trade. So that was one wonderful trade that happened. And then because it was almost moving sideways around here, we did not take any shots here, but as soon as this particular double bottom broke down, we actually targeted the 5600 area. We took some profit here, but then again, as the price started coming down, 5600 with respect to SPX. So this was the 5705 areas. I was expecting it to go to the 5702 and farther down. And then as we started coming down from here again, we took that short. And then if you see, this was a spinning top candle with a high volume right at the support area. So this I consider to be the support area. And as the price started coming up again, we see that we got around to the 25 area. I was expecting it to come to 30, but it did not come to 30 today. And we stopped around the 24.75. That was the last high that we got. Let us now start looking at the daily chart and see what the expectations are. Before getting into the daily chart, if you're liking the content of these videos, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification icon. And if you want any other kind of content related to trading, of course, please put that in the comment section below. I have also started working on a series of videos with respect to option Greeks. I should be able to publish that maybe within 2 weeks. So if you're looking at the daily chart right now, we have an inside bar, right? Inside this is the mother bar as of now. So during the trading day, I would actually suggest to put up the mother bar fibs. I will also put it up towards the end of it and mark the important levels here. So if you see that we went up to this area now, this weekly micro gap is actually having a lot of bearish movement here, and whenever we are coming up here, we are getting a rejection, right? We got this rejected once, twice, thrice. However, we could not break down the FOMC low. We came down to the FOMC low during the ETH hours. However, we bounced from there right in the morning, and then we went back up to this 576664 area. We tried to get inside this daily EMA channel, failed, and as we were expecting, we will hit some rejection at the 5760 areas. We rejected that. We came down almost to the FOMC lows again, but actually we did a higher low on the 5-minute chart, and then we went back and closed around the 572427 areas. So since this is an inside bar tomorrow, we will have to see again which side is being swept in the morning. So if we are getting below this 5682, this FOMC low, and then we can come down to this 5673 and then to this 5652 areas maybe. And then if you see that the price is actually getting back up and taking out this area, that can be considered as a failed breakdown, and the price may actually keep moving up to these areas once again and back to the highs. However, I am expecting it to be a trading range again. I will talk about why, but based on the daily chart, we will have to see where the market is opening up, whether near the highs or near the lows, or if you're opening up right near the middle or wherever we are closing today, then there is a possibility based on the lower time frames that the price may actually keep moving up for some time. So this is the mother bar fib that we have, right? So this is the low of that mother bar, this is the high of that mother bar. We closed right below the 50% of that mother bar range, and if this 5712 keeps holding the 5712 to the 5721 area, that is the 9 EMA on the daily again, if we keep on holding to this, there is a possibility that we will come down to this 31 to the 11% areas, which happens to be between 5695 and 5670, and then we will see whether the price actually wants to scuttle down to this bottom, to the 5656 area, and then break down from there and come to these areas once again. And if that does not happen, if we are bouncing from here and get above this 11% area once again, that may be considered as a failed breakdown, and then I will try to see if we are getting above this 33% area, 5695, and then going and hitting this 5714 and these levels on the upside again. So if you have this mother bar fib open in front of you, the levels will be, this will be the upper 33, upper one third of the mother bar, which is at 5732, and above that we have the 5747, the 5758, and finally we can come up to this 5770. Now since this is a bearish inside bar, I'm expecting that the price may actually come up here, get rejected once again, and start coming back down. And at that point of time, we will have to see at what point the price is actually getting some support, and we will have to see whether we are getting the first entry long, the second entry long, and based on that we can take the trades. However, if we are able to get above this 5770 and the 5773 areas, there is a high probability that we can get to this 5800 area also tomorrow. We will take a look at the gamma levels on SPX, and we will actually decide the plan based on that. However, based on the price action, this is what we see as of now. Similarly, if we are breaking down this bottom, the price can actually keep coming down towards these lows again. We know that this was the first attempt to reverse the market. We got a two-legged move to the upside, and then we have an inside bar here. So if we are breaking down these lows and there is enough bearish pressure, the price can actually come down to this 5625 to the 18 areas, and then break it down to get to the 5600 lows as well. Now, this is the 4-hour chart that we had yesterday, and this was the 4-hour wedge, right? And based on that, we did not go and touch the 4-hour wedge again. We did not even touch it here. I will actually change this line a little bit, considering that this touched the 4-hour wedge. And based on that, we actually got the two-legged pullback, right? So after we hit this high, we had two inside bars here. This was an inside bar. I'm considering this also an inside bar inside this mother bar. And then we came down once, we went back up again, and then we came down the second time. So we have completed the two-legged move here. Now we will have to see if we are again able to get above this 5728 line and continue to the upside, or we get rejected here and we keep coming down, break down this particular low at the 5695 area, come down to the FOMC lows, and then get down below this, and at that point of time we can come and touch this 5650 or the 5651 areas once again, and then once we are breaking it down, we can come down to this 5641 area, and then finally we can come to this major support area at 5610. If we are breaking down this 5610 to the 5607 area, there is a high possibility that we can hit these lows once again. And that is a very good possibility considering tomorrow is the options expiry date. So if we are breaking down the lows and we keep coming down, especially below the 5650 on SPX, there can be a flush of sellers that may come in and take the price down. Similarly, if the price is able to get above this 5760 area, we may go and touch this wedge line again at the top. And if we are breaking out of this wedge line, this 5800 will be our first target. And if we are breaking out of this 5800, then we will be able to see whether the price is going to the 5802, 5807, and then 5820, 33, and so on and so forth, right? So these are the important areas on the 4-hour chart. Again on the 4-hour chart, I will mark this particular area around this particular box as an important 4-hour area. So we may come to this 5821, and if we get rejected from there, we may start coming back down once again. So we will have to see at that point of time what can be a good area to enter the shorts. However, if we do not come down and keep going up, I am thinking that we can actually come to the 5861 levels also. That seems very improbable at this point of time, but the way the market has been moving, and with the news hitting the tape every now and then, there is every possibility that that may also become possible, especially if we are opening somewhere around here in the morning and then we see that the price is actually moving up. 100 points up from here will actually get us to this 5863 areas. However, we also need to remember that right now we have not created a lower low at this point. We have a higher low on the 4-hour chart, and if this continues to the upside, these areas can act as magnets tomorrow. Similar observation on the 1-hour chart as well. We have not created a lower low here. We are having higher lows consistently, and if the price gets moving to the upside, we can get to this 5735 area, and if we can get above that, we can come to this weekly micro gap once again, and then we will see whether we are coming and touching this line somewhere near the 5780 or the 5790 areas. And if we keep on breaking out, and if it is slow moving and then we get a fast move in the morning, the first instance itself can come and hit the 5800, the 5797 to the 5800 areas. But we have 4 consecutive bear bars right now at this point, so there is a fair value gap that is existing here. So again, we may come up to this 5741 area and get rejected. So remember this will still be an important hourly line. We can come to the top of this as long as we are not closing strong above this 5752 and then above the 5757 or the 60 areas. The bulls may not get enough traction here, so it becomes very important where we are opening up in the morning, and then we will have to see which way the market is moving, what it has done on the overnight hours, and based on that we can decide whether the market is actually trying to get to these highs, or we want to scuttle back down to these lows again and stay in the trading range. Now, one more possibility is that the measured move of this particular move down, then this pullback can actually bring us down to the 5653 area, and then we will be getting to this 4-hour double bottom, the multiple 1-hour lows right here, right? If that is the case and we see a bounce from here again, that can be another opportunity to go long from here, and then we will see whether we are able to break out of this 5681, the 5695, and get inside this mother bar once more. And if you see again on this daily mother bar fibs, the 5653 is actually the low of this Tuesday. So we will need to be very careful when the price comes down here. We can get a violent push up by the bulls from here once again. Now, looking at the 5-minute RTA chart, if you see that this area has been holding, right? We came back to this area. This box that you see here is the first 1-minute box. This is the box that I draw every day between 9:30 and 9:31. So we did not quite come down here, and we went back up here again and created a higher high, but we did not close here. We had some kind of a wedge created here. So if you want to draw that particular line, this is the wedge that got created right here. And then we had another two-legged move to the downside. We created a lower low as well, and we are somewhere in the middle. So right now we have created some kind of a channel right here. If I just duplicate this particular one, this can be treated as a channel, and as long as not we are breaking out above these highs, this can act as a bear flag, and the price may actually come down to these levels once again, to the 5681, maybe to the FOMC lows, and then we will see if we are breaking down, we know where the price wants to go to the downside. So that was the price action analysis. Let us now take a look at the SPX gamma levels. So these are the gamma levels that we have right now. The 5650 still holds the first aggregate gamma. The second aggregate gamma is sitting at 5700, plus this is also the gamma flip area, which means right above this the gamma actually turns positive, and the third aggregate gamma sits around the 5665 area. And I'm of the opinion if tomorrow we are breaking this area down strong, then we may find ourselves somewhere here, and then the price actually may scuttle down to these areas. So that is why I am thinking we can still be in a trading range between this 5650 and the 5700 tomorrow. Above this 5700 we may create a trading range which can get up to the 5720 to the 25 areas, and then immediately you can see a big dump towards the 5700. But if it does hold here and gets above the 5720 areas again, then there is a possibility that we will get up to this 5750, which will be the major positive gamma line, and that can become another area of rejection. Now, at this point of time, the SPX spot and the ES mini, the June futures, is having a spread of around 50 points. So if we are coming up somewhere here, 5750, that means we are talking about that 5800 line on ES. And then we will see if we are getting above from here, trying to get to that 5830 to the 5840 areas, or we will actually get rejected, come below this 5720, and then come back to this 5700. So what they will be trying to do tomorrow, since it's the options expiry, the market makers will actually try to get all the premiums from the market, and they will kill the premiums on the upside as well as on the downside. And finally, we may actually close somewhere again in the 5680 area. So that can be one possibility that can happen. However, if we are breaking this down or breaking out of this strong, there is always a possibility that we can get a strong move to the upside or a strong move to the downside. So that is where we have to be very careful and see that whether we are breaking down these lows, we are coming down below the low of the FOMC, and then we are continuing further. So even if we are breaking down strong from here, it will be ideal to take some profit in this 5632 area, which will be around the 5688 or the 84 area on ES mini, and then we will see that whether we are able to get down to this 5625 and then continue further down to the 5600. So that these are the gamma levels here. Now if you see, 5700 was the first aggregate gamma yesterday. Now the first aggregate gamma has come here. So there is a possibility that we break down this and then immediately come up here. At that point of time, we will see that we will get up to this 5665 area, and then to this 5778 area, and then maybe we will try to get back up to the top to 5700. All these charts that we are talking about, the link to everything is given in the description below. If you want to take a look at the charts, just click on the link and it will be there for your reference. Now during the RT8 session, we are online every day live on Google Meet. If you want to join that, please join our Discord. The link to the Discord channel is given in the description below. The webinar is free, and you will see that the webinar webinar link will pop up there around 8:45 a.m. in the morning. Let us now take a look at the 15 minutes volume profile chart. Now, this is very typical of a trading range day, right? That we have a B profile. We have one accumulation of transactions here and another accumulation of transactions around the 5.3 or the 5.4 level. Now, we need to see whether we are breaking down from here. This is the POC that we have at 13.25. We went down there and then we bounced back immediately and we came and closed above the POC of today. Now, we will have to see whether we are breaking this down again, the 5699 area. If we are breaking this down, if we are taking out this low at 5695, we will mostly come to this 5687 to the 83 area, and then we may try to fill up this gap at 5677, and then it may continue down in this trading range. We can have another bounce right from here. I will remove this line for now. We can have the bounce from here, and then if we get above this line, that can be considered as a failed breakdown, and we will come back up to these areas once again. However, if the price continues to come down, we can come and hit this 5641 to this 5632 levels, and then we will see if the price wants to scuttle down further to this 5620, 5608, and then to this 5600 and the 5593 areas. On the upside, we will now have to see whether we are getting above this particular high, the 5770. If we are getting above that particular high, we will also keep in mind the mother bar fib. If we are getting above this, as we discussed earlier, the price can actually come to this 5788 and then to this 5800 line. And then if we are breaking out from here, we can also see the 5810, the 5820 and the subsequent levels to the upside. So that is all the analysis I have for now. I will end the video here and I wish you all a very great rest of the night. And I'll see you guys back in the morning. Bye.